All right, so I just bought an Amazon FBA business for $185,000. And this is the brand right over here, which is called Nudary Labs. You can also see the entire purchase detail agreement so you guys know it's legit and real. I went ahead and purchased it on Empire Flippers. You can go ahead and see there. I bought it for $185,000 with $92,000 or half of it up front and the other seller finance within the first year. So in this video, it's gonna be jam-packed with a lot of different information. If you guys are interested remotely as far as scaling Amazon FBA, going ahead and purchasing an Amazon FBA business, or just are brand new to Amazon FBA, take a lot of notes because I'm going to be an open book. And look, this is not the first business I actually purchased on Empire Flippers or for Amazon FBA entirely, because as you can see, I have been a buyer of multiple businesses. Maverick was my first one in 2022. I purchased Relax Support in 2023, and Nudary Labs Natural is my third business that I actually purchased on Empire Flippers. And I've also went ahead and scaled businesses from scratch myself with Factory Laced and other products itself. But I have also failed a lot of times. Primarily, Relax Support is quote unquote a failure for me, but I go ahead and put it in quotes because you learn a lot of different mistakes and you get way more experience from actual failures than success stories. But trust me, like when I purchased Maverick for $190,000, you can see that business, when we go ahead and look at the numbers, was generating right around $23,000 in revenue per month and right around $6,000 in profit. And what are we doing now with that actual business? Well, again, I'm an open book. Look, I purchased that business in 2022. By 2023, we're already doubling those numbers, if not tripling those numbers some years. And look at just last month alone. I went ahead and had my best month ever for this actual business. And let me move myself out the way so you guys can go ahead and see it. Drum roll, please. I hit $95,000 in profit. So I went ahead and took a business that was generating $6,000 a month in profit to $95,000 in a single month, which again is kind of crazy to me. But this video is obviously not about Maverick. It's about my new acquisition, which is Nudary Labs. And basically, what am I going to go ahead and do with this actual business? Why I went ahead and purchased it? Why now I prefer to go ahead and actually buy businesses, scale them out, as opposed to going ahead and starting them from scratch. So again, take a lot of notes. Regardless of where you are in your Amazon FBA journey, trust me, you're going to get nuggets of advice that are going to be gold for you and your business. So why did I go ahead and purchase this actual business, right? So why I bought another Amazon FBA business instead of starting one from scratch? The main reason why I go ahead and do this is, one, it's very risky to go ahead and start from scratch. Primarily because even if we crunch all the numbers, if we know a niche is very, very good, right? There's a lot of things that can go wrong throughout the entire process of launching something from scratch, right? You might not get the best pricing. Freight might be through the roof. You start running advertising and they actually don't convert. Because even though I have had a lot of success with Amazon FBA, I have failed a lot of brands, a lot of product launches, and just know from experience that nothing is a guarantee. So when you purchase an Amazon FBA business, you skip that 0 to 1 phase. You see, I help Amazon FBA brands that are stuck between any type of range, whether that's $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, 30, 40, 50, you name it, right? Like people that are stuck and don't know that next level to actually scale. It is easier for me to spot inefficiencies, see where you're overspending or underspending or have untapped potential, and scale your business from there by going ahead and just pulling a few levers. It's a lot easier to go ahead and check that out, right? Because a lot of Amazon FBA sellers don't know the financials. They don't know the tools behind Amazon FBA. They don't know the A9 algorithm. They don't know how impressions, click-through rate, and conversion rates actually go ahead and, have a huge impact on your actual business. So the same thing applies whenever I'm going ahead and looking at Amazon FBA businesses to go ahead and purchase, right? If I look at a P&L statement and if I look at their actual business, I can see, okay, look, this is one big inefficiency and I can go ahead and scale that actual business. So it's actually a lot safer to purchase these Amazon FBA business, which is kind of counterintuitive because I'm risking so much more money. Okay, but that's only one thing, right? So I get immediate cash flow and stability. I know exactly how much Amazon is going to go ahead and pay out for when I take over that business, right? As opposed to starting from scratch, you have all of this upfront capital that you might not see for another 6 to maybe a year. as opposed to going ahead and purchasing an Amazon FBA business. I know, yes, my whole goal is to scale this actual business, but I know that this business is at least generating some type of cash flow, right? So that's another reason. Leveraging my expertise for rapid growth is probably the biggest, most influential factor, because as you guys saw, I purchased Maverick for a total of, you guys see here, it was listed for $238,000, but I went ahead and purchased it for $190,000. And I knew that based on the inefficiencies, yes, this business can go ahead and be valued at $190,000. But look at it now. I've actually listed Maverick for sale back on Empire Flippers for a grand total of $1.98 million. And this actually hasn't refreshed yet because I haven't taken into account the main numbers of me making $95,000. So this actual business is now worth upwards of $2.2 million for a business that I purchased for under $200,000 in as little as 3 years. In like less than 3 years times, I was able to go ahead and scale this business out, right? Which is insane. You can't get these levels of returns anywhere else, right? So this is why I'm super bullish and I'm continuing to double down, triple down, and purchasing more Amazon FBA businesses. And I'm even trying to go ahead and figure out a way that I can go ahead and basically put a pool of money together and start acquiring more and more businesses because it's super undervalued right now. Trust me. So another reason, faster return on investment and scaling timelines, right? Like I can go ahead and project to see, okay, if there's this inefficiencies, I can project that we can go ahead and increase this level of profit by X amount, and I actually have a timeline to actually get there. And we'll get to a little bit more that I do believe that my next 12 months, I can scale this brand out to basically be 4X what it is today, right? So I have a timeline to actually go ahead and do that. And I actually have a roadmap with metrics to actually get there, which I'm going to go over later on in this actual video, right? So we can go ahead and forecast that and actually have some numbers to back it up with, right? Today's market is a buyer's market. I'm telling you guys, I tried buying businesses in 2020 and 2021, right? Like my business for Factory Lace, the one that I started from scratch, was growing like crazy during that time. And I wanted to go ahead and purchase Amazon FBA businesses, and all of these little aggregators, all of these big aggregators as well, right? They were swallowing up every single listing from Empire Flippers, from Quiet Life, from Flippa, from acquisitions.com, all of these different types of industries or websites that were selling online brands, especially on Amazon FBA, were getting gobbled up. And you can go ahead and see this actual business that I purchased was listed, Nudary Lab was actually listed for $320,000. And I was able to go ahead and purchase this business for $185,000. But you're only able to go ahead and do that if there's no other buyers willing to go ahead and purchase the actual business. You see, I'm expected to go ahead and make my money back from when I'm going ahead and doing this actual business in less than 2 years' time. So if I change the nothing in this business and I just let it run to die, I'll get my money back in 2 years. But obviously, I'm not buying this business to get my money back in 2 years. I'm buying this business because I know that's going to be way more valuable in 2 or 3 years' time. And while I'm gobbling up these actual businesses in a buyer's market, I know that eventually it's going to become a seller's market, and I'm going to be honing in so much demand. It's just like real estate, right? Like I feel like this is 2012 of real estate. And if you guys know what 2012 in real estate meant, is that you're buying houses up very, very cheap, especially the area that I live in, right? Like houses are, I think, everywhere else in the country, but especially here in LA, where in 2012, you can probably purchase a house in my area for right around $400,000. Now that same house goes for $1.4 million. Which again, if you go ahead and put this into Amazon FBA perspective, I feel like when it becomes a seller's market, once we get back to the crazier times, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when that happens, I'm able to go ahead and sell these actual brands for way more than $2.1 or $2.2 million if they're going ahead and generating, upwards of an average of $60,000, $70,000 a month in profit, right? So the risk reward balance. Obviously, if you compare the two as far as starting from scratch and going ahead and purchasing a business, you might say that it's maybe more risky to go ahead and purchase Amazon FBA business. But as I explained earlier, right, it's way more risky starting from scratch, not only with your money, but more importantly, your time, right? Like I can go ahead and make a projection that I'll get my money back in 2 years. I can't say the same thing about going ahead and starting from scratch because I continuously have to reinvest, grow it out, invest more into PPC, garner more reviews, and maybe I don't actually make money in that actual business for maybe 3 years. So again, that's that risk reward balance where I do think it is way more risky starting from scratch than going ahead and purchasing an Amazon FBA business. But why this brand, right? Like why did I go ahead and buy Nudry Labs, right? Because as you can see, when you purchase a business from Empire Flippers, they give you basic information as far as trailing 12 month, meaning over the last 12 months, this business has averaged a profit of $8,600 per month and right under $30,000 per month. And that's just revenue and profit, right? The ones that are most important is these figures right here. What's the profit margin? What's the COGS? What is the tacos? And again, if you guys don't know anything when it comes to Amazon FBA or any of these numbers, tacos just means total, but you can see right there, total advertising cost of sales. So that means out of all this revenue figure of $29,000, they only went ahead and spent 8% of that money on ads, right? When it comes to something like Empire, like Maverick, as you can see here, you can see my tacos is at 23%. My profit margin is at 22% and my COGS are at 20%. So when you compare these two numbers, you can go ahead and see that, COGS are right around the same amount. Profit margin's a little bit lower here, but 8% lower or higher here. But this tacos here, right? That means that this individual, this actual product literally did no advertising and they were getting a lot of their sales organically, which again, that's one sliver, right? Like seeing this and seeing that they're getting organic sales just means that there is so much massive opportunity for growth in this actual business, right? So that's one of it. Profit margin was there. SKU count was there. Tacos, as I mentioned before, multiple products getting sales and brandability. And let's go through this, right? It hit my strike zone. So I had the profit margin I was looking for, which again, I always look for at least a 30% profit margin when I'm buying a business. It makes it seem that if they have a 30% profit margin, there's room for me to try and pull a few levers. And if I do make a mistake, I still have the profit margin to go ahead and absorb those mistakes, right? SKU count. I am not buying a job. If something has over, 40, 50 products, I'm not going to go ahead and even look at it because then you have to go ahead and hire someone to do inventory forecasting. There's a bunch of SKUs, dead inventory, long-term storage fees. Again, I have gotten screwed with long-term storage fees, especially with Relax Support that had so many different types of SKUs, and it was hard to keep up with those actual SKU counts that it was better off going ahead and just letting that business go and taking the tax write-offs. Which again, that's a different video for a different day. If you guys are interested to know more about Relax Support and why it failed, comment down below. But tacos, basically underutilized, more organic sales, which opportunity screams there. Multiple products getting sales. So when you go on Empire Flippers, you're going to get a sheet that looks something similar to this, right? And what do I look for, right? You can see all these different types of SKUs that they're currently going ahead and getting. And you can see that 151 comes from one SKU, 370 come from a different SKU, 30, 69, 275, 18. You see the list goes on and on. What I like to see here is that it's not just one or two products getting the majority of the sales. There's multiple products here that are actually getting sales. And the best part is that they're all parent ASINs. That means when I go ahead and log on to any one of these actual products here, you can see there's only one SKU count, which is a 90-day supply, three-month supply, 90 or 3-month supply, right? So I can go in here into this business, see that they're making sales on just one parent ASIN, and I can go in here and start creating more child ASINs that better help my impressions, better help my click-through rate, and better help my conversion rate. Again, if you know Amazon FBA, you can spot these inefficiencies a mile away, right? So that was a big one as well. Next one, brandability. What I mean by brandability is that when somebody purchases your product, if they want to purchase something similar of the same kind, they're going to type in your brand name. You see, if somebody goes ahead and buys a water hose on Amazon, right? If they need a longer water hose, are they going to go ahead and search up the same brand name? Oftentimes, maybe not. Maybe they're going to go ahead and type in just a different size water hose, right? So that's what I mean by brandability, that they're going to go ahead and type in your actual brand name when they're either trying to reorder your product or find something similar to your product. So this obviously checks the boxes being a supplement that when somebody runs out of a 90-day supply, they're going to go ahead and either have a subscribe and save or type in the same brand name over again on Amazon, which again, long-term means that I have more of a lifetime value of that customer, which we'll go over a little bit more. Down actually on this page right here, where I discuss lifetime value and average order volume, right? So it hit my strike zone. That's basically my strike zone as far as when I purchased the Amazon FBA business. But obviously, there was a lot of risk involved. There is a reason why I was able to go ahead and get a massive discount and other people weren't actually going ahead and viewing this actual brand to purchase. That's why I was able to go ahead and get it for the price that I got it for, right? There's obviously, if there was no risk whatsoever, people will be gobbling or foaming from the mouth to actually go ahead and purchase this actual business. So this business had no trademark and had actual trademark issues. I've been through that with my factory lace brand, right? Like it was called Dead Stock before. I got into a trademark lawsuit. I spent a lot of money on that trademark lawsuit, had to go ahead and rebrand all of my actual inventory. So I know from experience that a lot of people might look at this and seem like this is a huge issue. For me, it's not a big enough issue for me not to purchase the actual business, which again, based on my experience, this is a strength for me now, right? I'm able to go ahead and bring value on to purchasing these actual businesses. Number two, a new brand, right? And the reason why there is risk here is because this brand has only been selling for the last 2.5 years. When people purchase Amazon FBA businesses, they might not have the same skill set as me as far as going ahead and, growing a brand out. So what they look for is consistent growth, right? They want to go ahead and look at a business that they haven't just made $90,000 in profit in 1 month. They want to make sure that $90,000 has been consistent for the last 24 months, because they want to go ahead and purchase something that's going to be consistently cash flowing every single month. You see, every single investor has different goals when they purchase the actual business. So a lot of these actual businesses go with SBA funding as well. So they have to show that type of consistency if they want to get a loan to purchase one of these businesses. It's one of those things where if you're not in the nitty gritty, in the trenches, you really won't know what an actual investor is looking for when they're purchasing your actual business. But that was a risk, right? It was a new brand. So the buyer pool was a lot smaller, right? So that was a risk there. Number three risk was it's a supplement niche, right? So that means that cost per click is heavily expensive, like very competitive. But I knew this going into it, right? This is why I continue to still purchase the actual business, because if they're getting a majority of the sales organically and they're not pushing any other form of marketing on TikTok, on Facebook, especially on Amazon, right? Like that means that people are searching this up, meaning that this person that went ahead and created this brand knew exactly who their customer avatar was, exactly what they were going to go ahead and what their pain points, their insecurities, and exactly what they wanted to go ahead and purchase. So again, that's why I purchased Amazon FBA businesses, because literally the seller did all the hard work, and all the hard work is basically validating your product that I can sell on Amazon. So again, a lot of risk right there. But again, I've done this before. It's not my first rodeo, so that's why I went ahead and purchased the actual business. So what was the potential that I saw? And you might already know, right? Low tacos means that I can go ahead and scale this thing like crazy when it comes to Amazon PPC. And again, even though this, what it basically means is that once this taco starts rising, this profit margin is going to go ahead and come down. But I can offset that based on going ahead and raising prices if it's not so price sensitive. So we'll get to pricing and what I'm going to go ahead and do within the next 12 months, but stick with me, right? So we had a potential of low tacos. So going ahead and ramping up advertising, SKU expansion, right? We had those parent ASINs, and now we can go ahead and go into child ASINs and start creating a 30, a 90, a 60, 180, a 365 day type of supplement. Then we have recurrent revenue, which again, I think this is overhyped. I would rather focus on average order volume than lifetime value. And the reason why I say that is because if you had your own website, perfect. You can go ahead and calculate lifetime value of a customer. When it comes to Amazon, lifetime value, you kind of hold with a pinch of salt or whatever it might be called, right? Like the thing is that like you can't rely on the type of information. I would rather have a high ticket item like I do with my weighted vest on Maverick, which I know that every single time I spend X amount on ads, I'm going to go ahead and get this type of return, than it is to rely on lifetime value. And this is the reason why supplements have such a high cost per click, is because they rely on lifetime value. They think that one customer is going to go ahead and come back 10 different times. So that means over time, if they go ahead and spend $6, $7 per click and converts into a sale, right? That person's going to come back over and over 10 times, right? So this is why a cost per click is so expensive, which again, it's overhyped. Trust me. You would rather focus on average order volume than it is lifetime value, but that's a different video for a different day. And another potential thing, or potential here, was that they always ran out of stock due to cash flow issues. And it's a recurring theme that I always see whenever I speak to Amazon FBA sellers that are looking to scale their actual business. The problem wasn't that they didn't know what to do. they didn't have the money to do it, right? Like they didn't have the money to renegotiate prices. They didn't have the money to buy 6 months worth of inventory. They didn't have this money to go ahead and come out with a new product or a different SKU. Sometimes you already know what to do. And sometimes the biggest thing is that you don't have the cash flow to actually do it. So they would run out of stock a lot of different times. They would airship a lot of their inventory. So obviously that profit margin can actually be closer to 35%. So again, I've talked to so many different sellers. I do this day in and day out, which I really have to start outsourcing this stuff if I really want to go ahead and scale this business. So if you guys don't know how to like scale like a business that I'm trying to go ahead and come out with, which is get a pool of money together from a lot of people, different investors that I currently know as well, maybe viewers as well that are high net worth individuals that are looking to go ahead and are accredited investors looking to go ahead and get money together to buy a bunch of Amazon FBA businesses and scale them. Contact me, email me, because that's the one business that I'm really, really trying to go ahead and start, right? So more importantly, like what is my 12-month plan? And you can see down here, it's applying the same Maverick playbook, the same playbook that got me from going to $6,000 a month in profit for a business that I went ahead and purchased to $95,000, right? That is the ultimate playbook that I'm going to go ahead and play. And I'm revealing it to you guys, right? So if you guys appreciate anything that I go ahead and say as of yet on this actual video, all I ask for, like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I'm always putting out game. I feel like I am the most knowledgeable when it comes to acquiring Amazon FBA businesses, scaling Amazon FBA businesses, and turning around and actually selling them now, right? So the first thing is fix the low-hanging fruit. What can I go ahead and do right now that will contribute to the bottom line? Basically, make more profit per month right now. And the thing is negotiating prices, because we are now ordering in bulk, right? Before, they would order 200-300 units at a time and airship those items. When you order 200 units at a time, you can't really negotiate the COGS, right? Like, which is the cost of goods sold of the actual product, manufacturing the product, right? So now that I went in there, now I'm ordering 4 months of supply. So now I'm able to actually lower down the pricing, which again, brings up my profit margin right off the bat, right? Sea shipping versus air shipping. And we're going to start doing this in the second half of this year. Once we have inventory under control, and once we're able to go ahead and purchase more inventory, we can actually ship these items through sea. Because these are supplements, some of these manufacturers in the US, which is great. Some of these manufacturers are in India, which again, there's opportunity there for me to start sea shipping these items. It's just that there is a lot of compliance when it comes to supplements. So we have to make sure our labels are intact, make sure all the ingredients are intact, because we don't want to get flagged by customs, which again, this is why I bought a supplement brand. So I can go ahead and learn these different things, because I already know the consumer product goods already, right? So again, the next one is do not run out of stock, right? Like we're already running low on stock on some of these items already. Like I'm already out of stock based on just moving a few levers of this actual business and doing PPC profitably, right? Like we're already out of stock. And it's only been like maybe 3 days that I actually went ahead and took over this actual business, which again, that just shows how much potential there was. Like I knew that this was just like, I was foaming from the mouth that I wanted this actual business, because I knew what I can go ahead and do with this business. So do not run out of stock. And then optimize and scale PPC that I just talked about right now, right? Like, and then one thing that I'm trying to experiment with is raising prices to determine if there's price sensitivity, right? And the first thing I did was raise prices by 10%, which I did this for 2 different reasons. And we'll get over a little bit of reason why, but the main reason was that our COGS were inching closer to like 30%. Amazon FBA fees were inching up closer to like that 35 to 40% mark, which we're going to go over a little bit reason why. Like the most important thing here you can see is like the percentage of COGS, Amazon fees, and tacos. And I started seeing these Amazon fees were really high, right? Like 40% of all my expenses came from Amazon fees. So if I can raise the prices just by a little bit, I can go ahead and reduce the percentage of the Amazon fees, which don't get lost there. Just take notes, and it's all going to go ahead and form together as far as what I'm going ahead and talking about. So the first initiative is to go ahead and fix this low-hanging fruit and try and maximize how much profit I can go ahead and make from month 1, right? And over time, track and increase conversion rate, right? Like there's 3 main levers that you go ahead and pull with Amazon FBA: impressions, click-through rate, conversion rate. And we're going to go over it, right? You do this by increasing impressions and click-through rate, like I said first, right? Testing main images, coupons, and deals. Creating all of this because we want to push as much traffic as possible. 1, to get sales, but most importantly is to get data. You see, I don't do any type of black hat tactics when it comes to Amazon FBA. I get the data that Amazon goes ahead and gives me. And based on that data, I go ahead and optimize to go ahead and make different levers and move different levers and do different things with the Amazon FBA, which again, 99% of Amazon FBA sellers don't know how to take the data that Amazon gives them and act on it, right? So once we get that data back, we act and scale strategically through Amazon PPC, right? So that's basically all we really do is Amazon PPC, but no one handles Amazon PPC like I do, right? Because I have made over, I want to say 3,000 ad campaigns. And based on those ad campaigns, I've been able to go ahead and kind of have a system down that I go ahead and do all this stuff now, right? So the goal is to continue to stay profitable because with Amazon, you cannot rely solely on long lifetime value of a customer, right? There can be suspensions, competitors. There's a lot of different things that go on Amazon. Again, I'm an Amazon FBA seller. I do not get lost in the noise of trying to go ahead and create my own Shopify store, get a TikTok shop, because there is so much meat left on the bones with Amazon FBA that when you go ahead and try and do different things, you lose focus on the grand prize of things, and that's Amazon FBA, right? Like once you're done with Amazon US and you've you've taken as much meat left, you can move on to different types of countries that do Amazon FBA. And that's way more than going ahead and doing TikTok shop or a Shopify and driving traffic there, right? So again, this is just me. That's my motto and how I work, right? Next step is to scale smart with product expansion, like I mentioned before. Multiple products for getting sales. So to increase conversion rate, which again, if you can master conversion rate, you're going to get better ranking. You're going to get even more organic sales. And not just that, if you get a high search volume keyword that you're ranked very high for, the floodgates will open up. So by going ahead and offering different types, right? Offering new counts, like I mentioned earlier before, I'm able to increase conversion rate and in hopes that I'll go ahead and get one of those keywords, get an Amazon's Choice badge, get a bestseller badge. Again, the Maverick playbook that I went ahead and did. Right? So the goal, always keep track of metrics. What percentage of expenses are you lowering and increasing? As I mentioned before, my expenses that I want to increase in this business is the tacos percentage. But if I increase the tacos percentage, that means I'm going to go ahead and need to decrease something else if I want to go ahead and keep my profit margin, which again, I have a 30% profit margin. Even if I go ahead and up my tacos to 13% or 10% more, I still have a 20% profit margin, but I'm still making more in the bottom line, if that makes sense, right? Even though I'm making lower profit margin per item that I go ahead and sell, the overall profit in my actual business goes up, right? So if tacos increases, what are we cutting costs, right? Lower Amazon fees by increasing price. So as mentioned before, right? Going ahead and trying to increase price so I can go ahead and lower the Amazon fees. Lower COGS by sea shipping instead of air shipping. That will go ahead and give me more profit margin or more tacos to work with. So again, I'm happy if I can go ahead and go all the way up to a 40% tacos as long as I'm still making at least a 20% profit margin, which makes it seem that I can go ahead and start scaling with ads like crazy in the long term, right? So main expenses, always, whatever your revenue is, what percentage of that is COGS, what percentage of that is Amazon fees, and what percentage of that is tacos, and then you get your overall profit margin, right? So again, I went over a lot of information here in this actual video here as far as how I acquired this business, the terms that I had, why I purchased this actual business, why I now opt to go ahead and purchase Amazon FBA business instead of going ahead and starting from scratch. So if you are an Amazon FBA seller currently right now that are stuck, don't know how to scale, let me analyze your business, please. Like I'm always here as an open book, but I can guarantee you that I can go ahead and spot inefficiencies in your actual business and see how you can actually scale to multiple six figures every single month. And just by going ahead and have a conversation with me. So click that link below, schedule a phone call with me and see if I can go ahead and help. I'll be honest with you in the actual one-on-one call. And again, if the offer is open to there, if you guys know how to go ahead and kind of structure a way for me to try and pull money together and purchase more and more Amazon FBA businesses with accredited investors, reach out to me. That's kind of my main focus here in 2025 now, is that I know this playbook works. And I know that I can go ahead and purchase these businesses right now at a buyer's market where people are going ahead and basically giving their businesses away because they don't know how to take their business to the next level. And I know that in 2-3 years from now, when it switches to a seller's market, we're going to make a shit ton of money. But again, if you guys appreciate anything I said in this video, just email Los Angeles, leave a like, comment. But at the end of the day, happy selling, guys. Peace.